Well, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today at the request of Jordan Bailey and Mr. Hat himself, M Hat, the man. Shout out to both of you guys. Mr. Hat, you actually had a more in-depth kind of request, and I will attend to that in this video. But I do want to give a kind of short-term outlook. I want to compare for Jordan Bailey. I want to do BCH to LTC, and then we'll hit that slew of requests. I'll go over it whenever it's time. But anyways, looking at BCH right now, you guys, that was not the weekly close we were looking for. That was not what we wanted to see. We've closed below the 50. We have closed below this weekly low close. And more, it is looking like what we did was we kind of broke this upward ascending trend line here. We've broken out of that. To me, it looks like things are just getting started. So perhaps we are going lower. We're at 424. Yes, I was bullish over the past couple days, or I should say hopefully bullish, right? We were hoping to continue to move up, and it just did not happen. And that's okay. Sometimes that doesn't happen. But, you know, here we are still at these same prices, switching gears now, thinking that we are going to go lower. It does look like we're going to go lower, in my opinion. Bouncing off this oversold zone is really nice. But, again, the way that we close the week, it doesn't have me too excited. Let's look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour RSI also does not excite me. Genuinely, all of it makes me think that we're going to go lower. So that's my assumption, is that we will go lower. Let's look at the daily again. Perhaps from this low to this high. We show some respect here. I mean, potentially 370 to 335 is on the table. Okay, just to make that clear. But this might be the fib to take. Not because the extensions don't go down as far, but because it's more relative. This move here is what cast you down. 390 to 350. Still the same area, more or less, just like technically different targets, right? Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon, by the way. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to give the shout out to the homies, but shout out. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe to see more from me. I very much do appreciate you guys. Looking at this here, you know, you could go down, yeah, 380. That 390 to 350 area does look pretty promising. I don't think we take out this low. I really don't think we do. So I don't even actually think that we go near that area. I mean, 378 is pretty near 350, but 378 is kind of where I would expect us to go, because we found support on the 786, rejecting the 69. That's just the next logical area. Hopefully it holds, because if not, we're in some deeper trouble, and that's okay. You know, it just means lower prices. Is going to be more time before we move up higher, but that's the next target. I can't help but think that's where we're going. If I'm wrong, then perhaps we do form some kind of higher low. Perhaps we form, instead of a double bottom, we form some kind of a triple bottom. I don't know, but lower. My genuine target right now is 378, and I will change that, just as I've changed my upside targets in this exact same area that we've been in, right, over the past couple days. I will change that to a more bullish perspective if we can hold this low, and if we can break above $435. Is it 435? What are you doing here? 435.86. So let's call it 436. If you can break above $436 on any given day, not just move above it with like price action, but close above it for any given day, I will start to be much more optimistic that this is indeed the low. But for seeing what we have right now, seeing the weekly close the way it did, I'm under the anticipation that yes, 377, 378 actually might be on the table. And we don't have to hit that line directly. We could, you know, find support somewhere in between the blue line and the green line there. It wouldn't be crazy to find support on this daily low close here. You know, something that we found support on before. We closed at it here, even tipped this area kind of at 388. But 390, 370, that's probably where we're going to go, with a heavy emphasis on that like 380 to 378 area. So that's that. Again, hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get in more into these requests. So BCH LTC is what you said. You can't really compare it, can you? There's no opportunity. So Jordan Bailey, and anybody that's watching, and Jordan, you might know how to do this, but for anybody that doesn't know how to do this, if you go to, actually you'd want to do BCH USD, type in the dash like that, and then do LTC USD, and then click on that one, right? It's Coinbase BCH USD, and then enter, boom. If you don't type it in, it'll just do, like if I type in BCH here, BCH USD, it'll just do the first one. Like if I don't type in Coinbase or whatever, it'll just do the first one. So if I type that in, LTC USD, same thing, right? If I just press enter, I don't click on any of them, it'll just do the first of the listed one. It's still BCH to LTC, just on Coinbase, right? And this is their dollar pairs versus each other. So kind of an interesting chart. Never looked at it before, but hey, you did say, I hope, Jordan Bailey, I hope you said BCH to LTC, not LTC to BCH. It would just be the same thing, but inverse. But just take everything I say inverse if that is what you requested. This is a very bullish chart versus LTC. Broke the downtrend heavily. We have this in existence since 2017, yes. All-time high to all-time low. And this is based off Coinbase, so I think this is relevant. This is accurate information. That's not a scam wick there, though it kind of looks like one. It's not. Broke above the 382, found resistance at the 0.5, previous area of resistance here. Perhaps you do lose value. That makes sense because LTC, you guys, is moving sideways right now. Let's real quick. It's moving sideways. If it moves down, it's probably not going to move down as much as BCH over the coming weeks, right? I know this is the monthly chart, but I'm just looking at this as a whole. Perhaps it does lose value against LTC. Perhaps we do move back down to about 450 versus LTC, whatever that is. Is that four LTCs? Is that what it is? Let's hold on now. I guess, yeah. So that's how many it would be. It'd be LTC. Move down to about 4.48 LTCs per BCH. And then move up from there. Inevitably, I do think it wants to work its way up to 10.22, 13.14. It might even see new all-time highs by the end of the cycle, but don't forget, BCH is going to go up, but LTC is going to go up too, so these extensions might not be on the table, but we'll see. We'll see as things go on. At any rate, the way that this looks, the weekly RSI, the daily RSI is kind of weird, actually, the way that it looks, but a lot of it, and just the price action, the fibs itself, it kind of suggests to me that we would go lower, especially what we're seeing right now. So that's that. Let's go to Mr. Hat's request here. You guys can't see this, I don't think. No, you can't see this. So I'm going to scroll up to it real quick. It's a slew, man. He did his notes here, or he's given me his notes. Let's see. He says, my request for you when you come back. Okay, I'm just going to ignore, not ignore, but not read that out loud. Appreciate you, Mr. Hat. You're the man. You know you are. Current negative correlation on BCH and crypto overall versus the stock market. Example ticker ES1. Okay. ES1. BCH USD. We can compare it this way. And let me know if you want me to compare it the same way that I just did that. If you want me to put the dash on it, I'm going to do it this way though. ES1. Bitcoin Future. Is this right? I think you said ES1, or is it ES1 with an exclamation mark? Because that might make a difference. Let me just see real quick. ES1 with an exclamation mark. So that might be different. It might not be, but let's just see. ES1 exclamation mark. Oh, not the indicators. Come on now, man. Goof. Let's see. Correlation. ES1. There's no exclamation mark, so could it be this? Is this what you were talking about? Because you said overall versus the stock market. Example ticker ES1 exclamation mark. Maybe he just said it with like excitement, you know? Or there it is right there, ES1. Anyways, apply. We're going to apply it there. I'm sorry, guys. It's so confusing. I'm figuring it out too, right? Me and Mr. Hat do various, we do similar yet different TA. And, you know, I like applying different styles, man. And I use the correlation coefficient, you know, but just like looking at things differently than how he looks at things that I don't normally look at. Or maybe I do look at, but he might look at it differently. And I don't know. It's worth doing this, I think. So. Pretty uncorrelated right now, yes. So very, very uncorrelated. What do I think about that? I mean, looking at this chart, I would assume that we're about to see a climb toward correlation, right? So we're going to hit neutrality where it's just going to run independently of it, of the stock markets, right? That's what this is implying. And then looking at this, it does go in phases of not correlated, correlated, not correlated, correlated, not correlated, correlated. You know, we're at the low point here. So it could be, let's see, that was May 5th to May 15th. That was the longest phase, so it could be 2 weeks, perhaps it's 2 days, but very soon, in a very short amount of time, we're going to start working toward correlation with the stock market. So checking out ES1 now, like actually the chart, ooh, whoops, that's not right. ES1, is it? Bam, maybe. Oh, 1 second, guys. Of course, it's going to have a direct correlation there, so just ignore this blue line down here. You know, I might delete it even, because we've already seen what we need to see. The stock market looks like it wants to go down, so it's not the correlation we deserve, but it's the correlation that we're going to get, man, to the downside probably. And I don't think it'll move down tremendously, right? Like, we've just broken out to new all-time highs. And we have a breakaway gap. I mean, we'll look at the RSI again, but generally with this look, you could hold the 1272 and then move up higher, consolidate kind of in this area for a little bit. Perhaps you do move all the way back down to your 100 or your 886 area, previous all-time high area, find support there, and then move up. That would take more time probably, right? If you moved up this fast, I would assume it takes you not just as long to move down, but longer, right? And you're not going to move all the way back down, but again, if you move down here, it could take several weeks. Let me just make sure my time frame is right on that. Yeah, it could take several weeks. Even down here, longer. Of course, it would probably take longer. Just because your targets are different, for those of you who are looking at this and like, oh, this could happen tomorrow. If I'm talking about this area or this area, this would take less time to achieve. This would take more time to achieve. It's not that this is a deeper price, so it would have to happen faster. It could, but I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that. But yes, this does look like it wants to move lower. You could move higher. S&P. Bearish divergence. It would suggest that you want to move back down to your previous all-time high. So the correlation that we're expecting to see come into play with BCH looks like it's going to be there, but only because BCH and S&P are actually going to move down. So right now they're not correlated. S&P's been moving up, but BCH is about to move down, and this is about to move down. So they're about to go into a correlated phase, I think. What do I think about that? You know, not much. They go. It's just natural cycles. I guess what I think about it the most is that it very much does look like we're going into a phase where we're correlated, but that doesn't really have. I don't know if that has anything to do with the price of Bitcoin Cash itself. It might just be a coincidence. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But talk about BCH USD, Bear's favorite site, the weekly head and shoulders. And I'm reading this out loud because it's on Discord, so I'm assuming if this was to be private, you would have sent me a DM or something, right? You wouldn't have just put it on the request. I'm assuming you have no shame, no qualms with me reading this out loud. If so, we'll know better for next time. But for now, we're putting you on blast. So the weekly head and shoulders, $400 is the neckline, or do you not see that as a valid head and shoulders pattern? BCH USD Bear's favorite site. Talk about their favorite site, the BCH USD head and shoulders. Let's do it. I don't see it as a head and shoulders. I can already see what you're talking about. No, I don't. I would sooner as it's funny because it looks more. The reason I'm laughing is because I said I don't see it as a head and shoulders, but I'm about to identify it as a different pattern. But to me, it looks more like a head and shoulders than it does an ascending triangle, which is actually more of what I kind of think this is like an ascending triangle. I think it just has this one blemish, but it looks so perfect without that. And we've seen these kind of things actually happen with Bitcoin and other cryptos before, where it does this exact thing. It just has this weird non-orthodox look to it, but it acts the same. However, this time you broke out to the downside, and you can break ascending triangles to the downside. Generally with the ascending triangle, you'd go back down to the bottom of the pattern, which, hey, that's kind of where your targets are at the lower area. And if your measure move is the bottom of the pattern, you don't have to hit your measure move. It's an idea, right? You don't have to do that. You can achieve most of it, but not all of it. That's an upside down cross. We're going to get rid of that. What do I think about that? I don't think it's an inverse head and shoulders, though, or not an inverse a head and shoulders, though I can certainly see where that look comes from. The volume even matches. The volume kind of matches. I don't know if it does. Anyways, it's irrelevant. Like, whatever. You can have wrong volume and still have a proper pattern, but I see where you're getting it from. But this right shoulder, you look for symmetry more than anything in the left and right shoulder. This guy's got elephantitis or something. Hit the like button for elephantitis, man. No hate at all. It's just to me, it looks like it wants to go down, and that does kind of coincide with this head and shoulders idea. But I don't think it is. I think it's closer to some kind of ascending triangle with a blemish on it. That's my genuine opinion. So, no, I don't think that we're going to break the neckline at 400. You're saying the neckline would be at 400, right? I don't think that's it. I don't think we're going to see the neckline break at 400. I don't think that the target move, if that is the neckline, I don't know if that's how you'd measure it. Maybe from a conservative point, right? That's how you do it. You'll do it from the most shallow point. I do that too, to be fair. So, but with a pattern like the head and shoulders, I feel like I actually do take the deepest point, because that's what the measure move is, from what I've learned. Everyone's different, right? But from what I've learned, the deepest point of the pattern is actually the measure move. But what Mr. Hat's doing here, talking about, and I don't know if it's him talking about it or someone he's arguing with at work and he wants me to be like agreeing with him or not. I don't know. I'm painting a picture here, right? I don't know why I'm being requested this. I don't care to be known, right? We're talking about it nonetheless. Stumbling on my words. All I'm trying to say is I know that Mr. Hat, like myself, with most patterns, likes to take the conservative approach when measuring for measure moves, and that's probably better than it is harmful, honestly. But using the measure move that you've given from the neckline to the head, that would be all the way down to 225. I mean, it's possible. It wouldn't make sense to me. There's areas of support down there. It would be a higher low overall. It wouldn't be detrimental to BCH, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. But it's possible. But that just seems ridiculous. That to me seems a lot more ridiculous than holding that 370 to 380 area, maybe even $400, and then moving up, right? That seems crazy. So we've got 2 out of his 6 total requests here. It's 1 request, but it's an in-depth request. If it goes below $400, it loses the $8 billion market cap. Will it do that? Well, let me do some math real quick. BCH. So 8.3 billion from the current price. Are you saying will it do that, as in is that math correct, or are you saying will it do that, as in will that happen? I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, I think you actually mean will that happen. I do think it will happen. I think that's obvious, right, from what I just said. So I think I answered that one without knowing it. But let's, just for fun here, 5%. Yeah, you would be below, right? Because 5% of 8.3, that's over 400 million. So yeah, absolutely, you'd be below 8 billion. Yeah, and that could be a psychological thing too, where you see a little cascade of things going down, or perhaps you hold the $8 billion area as support. Oh, that's down at 4. You're gonna go lower, man. So yeah, probably not. It could happen. You could go just below 800 billion and still hold that as support. That could still happen. But let's move on to the next dot here on his to-do list. Will BCH USD go to its 200 daily SMA, or will it just do higher lows? It'll probably do higher lows. I don't think it's going to go. I don't know where its 200 daily is, but I don't think that it's going to do lower lows. Well, it depends on your reference, I guess. You said 200 daily. Yeah, it might, Mr. Hat, it might go exactly to the 200 daily. That might, if not, it might do a little wiki poo like that, but it looks like this is only going to continue to increase, right? So I mean, yeah, maybe you do actually go just a little bit. Maybe you prod. I don't know if you close. You can close below it, and it's not detrimental. But perhaps you do actually go to that area. That gives further validation to what we were just saying, right? I need to post this video, man. That way it gets brought out before we dump down there. No point in posting a video after the moves happened, right? Let's see. I'm reading the next one here. I know you guys can't see it, but I have it pulled up on a different tab. You can probably see my mouse move, but it's different. These are good questions. Do you believe BCH BTC is going to hold its? You already said that. I'm sorry, or I already went over that. Wait. Oh no. Okay, it's the same. You're asking go to its. Will it hold? I don't. So I answered that one without thinking about it, without reading it. So no, I don't think it. I guess yes. Yes, I do. I'm sorry. I'm going to change that. Yes, I do. I think it's possible to go a little bit below the 200. I don't think that you're going to break it, though. I think you're going to hold it much like you did here. You might hold it to a T. You might hold it loosely. Perhaps you go just above it like that. But I actually do think you'll interact with it. And, yes, I do think you'll hold it. Sorry. I got a little bit thrown off. It's late for me here, man. BCH BTC is going to hold its 200 daily. Let's check it out. I don't use the 200 daily as much as I should, man. 200 and the 50, and there's various ones that are important, but those are some big ones, man. Well, Mr. Hat, the answer is no. Right? Did I read that right? Let me make sure. Do you believe BCH BTC is going to hold its 200 daily simple moving average? And I do have the simple moving average on, right? Yes, because there's the EMAs, there's smooth moving averages. And he said SMA, smooth moving average, right? But it's simple. I know he means simple. If they ever say SMA, they normally mean simple moving averages. So clearly, no, it hasn't held that. That one answered itself. We're in that area where we could hold it, but I think we're going to go lower, yeah. Honestly, Mr. Hat, the 200 daily on the BCH BTC pair doesn't seem to be any really significant at all. You don't seem to care. Maybe it's a point of reference somewhat in this area you care, kind of right there. That's a nice little bit of respect, I suppose. Heavily disrespected there, but the general area provided resistance. Again, no significance, but the area kind of around it, a little bit of significance there. I don't know if this thing really cares for its 200. So I don't think it's a big deal to lose it. In fact, I would say it's even common to go a little bit below it. Perhaps we find support lower, but just in this general area, as we've seen before, right? That's kind of where you find significance. But actually, look at that. That's pretty damn clean. And you did hold resistance kind of right at it here. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we went lower. I mean, that could have been lower than the current reading, but that could have been the low. Let's see. Low to high. Yeah. Down. We'll see you down at 206 of a Bitcoin. Let's answer your next question that I might have already answered. Same goes for its monthly. 618. Will it hold? For BCH BTC, I'm assuming, let's go on the monthly. And he said log. So, I don't know what just happened there. Your monthly log 618, will it hold? Would that be I would assume this is the one, right? It might be the same even if it's this here. No, it's not. I don't know why I thought that. I mean, that one's definitely going to hold. Yeah. On a monthly perspective, I would expect it to hold, yeah. And that would look nice. It's not necessary, I suppose. But I'd like to see that. Just because I'd like to see that doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's a long ways away, right? 2 weeks left in the month. Bullish divergence forming. I think we hold it, man. I think you move a little bit lower now, and then over the next week or two, you're going to start moving up. So, yeah, I think you do. I do. Yes. I hope this was the answers, the kind of video you were looking for, my friends. So that's it. That's the last one. So you guys hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. That was a very detailed kind of list there. I hope everybody enjoyed that. That's awesome, right? That's kind of cool. It's like I'm driving the car, but M-Hat's got the map right there, right? So it's like a little bit of your perspective there, which is good. It's a fresh pace, right? It's a little bit different, a little bit more in depth than what I normally do with these, but that's how it goes sometimes. So happy to do that, man. Yeah, that was a good one. I think that was a good one, at least. I hope it was. I'll watch it back and we'll see how much I stumbled on my words there. But anyways, on that note, I will see you guys on the next one. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Shout out to the Dragon Rider, shout out to M-Hat, and to Mr. Bailey, of course, Jordan Bailey. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.